second is free. You know, I tried to keep it light. Be, you know, kind of modest with the stream titles on here, but this is just straight free, so I just gotta call it what it is. Dudes on here are free. But see, it's in the same regard that I can't be playing pointless games. So for this reason, it's like I'm gonna have to see. There's just like a thin line between playing with rank restrictions and playing like really weak characters. Like I'll sit here and I'll just play like a really weak character and just be like, I don't care who I play against. But it gets to a point where it's like, you know, a little bit of XP here, a little bit of XP there, 50 XP like for a match. It gets to the point where it's like these dudes will be so trash that you just got to get to the point where like you just can't play them for free. But yeah, you just can't play them for free. Dang. Dang. See, the thing about Negan is no matter who plays the character, you have to always be careful because the damage is so high. There we go.
Get ready for the next battle.
See, this way, you know, you just get you get something for your worries, you know? You get something. You just get something. It just gets to a point where it's like you gotta get something because it just gets to a point where it's like no point in playing against them.
Round one. Fight.
And see, look at my health. This is why you gotta always be careful when they, no matter who plays Negan, you gotta watch out. Because the range is so far and the damage is just so high. he's gonna do that stupid shit. See, now he wants to try to play super hard because he realized all that XP. Now watch this. Oh my goodness. Ugh. What? Just pissing me off when they get stuff for nothing. See what I'm saying? This dude has his whole wow, this man better kill me off this. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, there we go. And you just get that off them. Cause see, what will happen is when they lose, like when they have something to lose, it'll force them to really play, and they won't be able to just be so brainless with it. It'll give them some consequence, and it'll be just that consequence to force them to actually fight. See, if people can sit there and just play you any old kind of way, and they can just sit there and just blindly rush you, and then they'll do that. And at least this way, you get something for dealing with the problem. Like, yo, that move is crazy. That's what this man wants to do. So I got something for him. Dang, see? Whoa, let's see if I can survive. Got him. See, he's trying to get me with that this little grab thing he got going on. I don't know what this man over here think he's doing with this grab. Here we go. But yeah, you might as well just go ahead and get that up off them. because they don't know what they're doing with the XP anyway. So you might as well just go ahead and get that up off them. You sit there and you play them for free, they'll just sit there and do that mindless stuff to you all day until you get either dullified by it. I mean, or they figure out something that'll really work on you. And once they start figuring out certain things, like it's just not a good situation, because sometimes bad habits can be really kind of like ingrained in your mental. And a lot of the way that they play is really super unorthodox, because a lot of it is just random stuff that they're doing in the moment, which for that reason ultimately makes it like really useless nonsense. But they'll be sitting there working in teams, just eye of the tiger in you, wearing you down. You sitting over here fighting against these fools. They know their chance of winning is like 1 in 30, and they're sitting over here playing the lottery with you. I did that for a while because the ecosystem here is not developed. Quick match is like where players go to fight each other, but they go there like hiding, and then like ranked is basically like the only place to get like people that seem to know how to play. And what that really means is that the ecosystem is just underdeveloped because people haven't gone through the ranks yet. I've seen a couple people on the computer that are like at like Tekken God and stuff like that, and I've played against certain people on PC that are good, but they don't ever host lobbies. And so because they don't host lobbies, they don't condense and all get better together to where everything sort of works its everything works in down. They'll do stuff where like they'll play unrestricted rank and they'll just get like hundreds of wins on just I don't know how they get these hundreds of wins, but it's never enough for them to go out and just play player match. Here we go. There we go. So yeah, you get that up off them. $100. And it's better just to wait for that 1200 than to sit there and play like 1,000 and up. Because they're just gonna sit there and just keep trying to force that same dry hand, and it's not gonna be worth it. You'll be like 100 games in. Now, one thing I have done with this, and like one thing about like playing on PC that I realized is that like if with the player base being so small, I can play like weaker characters. Like here's this dude again. Another thing too, like this is a counter pick too. See, the thing is like on PlayStation, they'll do this. Like they'll be really active, but like they'll rely on counter picking because the player base is weak. When the player base is strong, you don't have counterpicking. Stuff like this is more common when they're more like they feel like they're gonna lose. Like this dude's 970 wins. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. See, that's why it's a counter pick. Because of this stupid ass range bullshit. But yeah, anyways, the thing about them is this. At this point of the video, I like to talk about something else that I'm doing. And if you like the art direction of this video, I think you might like my concept writing, Xenon. I put a link to that in the comments section. With that out of the way, lastly, I just like to try to get this video to 10 likes, as most of my videos really don't break like 4 to 5. So if you can help me with that, that'd be cool. All right. On PC, I just realized how much faster the game was. And at that point, I just really got tired of playing Tekken because I had played prior to that for like maybe like 2.5 years, and I had taken a lot of losses. And it just, what it really made me realize was that I had lost so many games because my console, like on console, it was just like everything was just so much laggier. And then so fast forward, I start playing on PC, and then, you know, when I start like recently on PC, I wasn't really like where I'm at now, you know. But when I first started playing on PC, I had a similar experience to that, and then I just basically started like trashing these dudes. And then what ended up happening was, all of a sudden, like the player base that was on here, it just like seemed to just be even more sparse than what it was before. And so now it's like, you know, I'll go into lobbies and stuff like that, and these people will sit there, they'll kick you out of the lobby. You know, like they'll do stuff like that. Like you see how that dude won? Like, and see, that's what I'm talking about playing them for free. Like what that man did in order to win that round, it was a series of attacks that were all premeditated. And the problem with this matchup and that series of attacks is it's like this high-low string of attacks, which you see, like it'll, you know, you get like hit with like a couple of counter hits or like a couple of juggles, and then next thing you know, you're at like 20%. And this is the strategy that they'll pull on you when you sit there, you thinking you're playing them for free. They'll sit there and they'll do that mindlessly. See, the thing is, to do that intentionally, or to do that, like, or to do aspects of that when it's a part of like a fight is one thing, but then to just constantly grind it out and to constantly drill it out, to do it mindlessly, that's another one. And the thing is, they'll lose, you know, 3, or they'll lose, you know, 4 out of 5 games, or they'll lose like, you know, 7 out of 8 games, and they'll still keep pushing that strategy. This is for this reason why you don't play them for free. Whatever, if they want to lose those 8 games, they could go ahead and lose those 8 games. They're just going to lose those 8 games, and you're going to get 1200 XP for it. You're not going to sit there and only get, you know, 400 XP for 8 games. 400. In this way, it's worth your energy. Otherwise, you're just sitting there using a whole bunch of brain power fighting against people that aren't even trying. Like, they're not fighting the way that you think they are. They're not reacting to nothing. They're literally sitting there, you know, relative to what you're doing, they're just in a daze. So anyways, in this one, I got the little playlist in the background. I looked at the stream, whatever I made earlier. Realized that the microphone was working and everything, and I have this little music in the background. We're just gonna chill and then, you know, just get through the ranks. But you know what? Now that I think about it, that dude was Vanquisher, so I'm just thinking, do I have anyone that's Vanquisher? But this is another thing about them too. When you like play on different platforms and you go from different skill levels and you experience the game from different perspectives, once you get to the top, you start to notice a lot of the flaws in your opponents, and you start to also notice a lot of the dirty games people play, because people are all intimidated to play against you. They're like more, because they're more likely to lose. Like the more likely people are to lose, the more you're able to see like the little bullshit that they do. And this is what you'll realize when you get to the top. See, when you're at the bottom and you're like losing, you don't really realize that these people are really like preying on you. You don't realize that they're preying on you until you start winning and you realize that these people are ducking you. This is why I'm a big advocate of not really making friends with these people, you know, when you first start playing, until you actually get to a point where, like, it's, for example, in Tekken, where you're Tekken God. Because then at that point, you actually know if these people are really your friends or not. A lot of these people will be your friends as long as they're beating you, and as soon as you start beating them, they will stop being your friend. Gone are the days where you used to be able to be a good hard jabroni, you have a whole bunch of friends, and you and your friends would just keep playing this game, and everyone would just keep getting better, and then, you know, as long as you kept playing with them, you get better with them, and you stop playing, you pick up, meet new people, you play with them, you guys all get better, like, and just keep growing together, and everyone have this sort of journey. That time is over with. These people are literally playing casino games. A lot of them are playing casino games because they don't have any ethics. A lot of them weren't, like, you know, bred into the, you know, lifestyle. So a lot of them are just really out here playing games. But with this, you know, they run and they duck and they hide. So, you know, it's like on PC, it's like, the way that I basically do it is I'll just play like really like a lot of my weakest characters on PC. And what I had done to compensate for like the inactivity is, what I would do is I would just play all the jabroni. I would play unrestricted, but it's just like I'm sitting over here with Lily, like 130 wins. And I can't tell you out of those 130 wins, any of them that were any different than me playing like treasure battle. And this is the thing with these Fuaos, is I taught them little aspects of the game. So like now their combo damage is really high, but they're still the same jabronis they've always been. And so the whole moral of the story is just like, at the end of the day, you just can't play them for free. And the only time you ever do play them for free is whenever you're playing like a really weak character. And like a weak character, at least you can like learn combos and stuff like that. You can learn combos, and if they want to sit there and do like little bullshit ass strings like they always do, then all you have to do is just focus on defense at that point. But as far as like sitting there like really playing them, the reason why you don't want to do that is because they'll just sit there and they'll interpret what you do with their weak ass mentality, and they'll just adapt it to their game. And it's like the whole time you're kind of like exposing them to like really high level gameplay. And it's like all they're really gonna do is run away and try to launch. They're gonna run away, try to launch, run away, panic launch, and they're just gonna sit there and just keep trying to whittle out that same bullshit pressure technique. Like that one dude that played Negan, this man literally sat there and tried to block, try to grab. But I will admit the one caveat to not playing it for free is having to wait for a game. And this kind of takes me back to the initial story of like learning like the truth about like playing Tekken and why I stopped playing, because once I kind of realized that the game was kind of laggy or whatever, I was able to conceive like how talented I would have been, granted that there wasn't any lag, and I was able to ascertain based on like the people that I knew and like the way that they played and basically like where their skill was and whatnot, that it was just basically the same BS like this. This is what happens. See, right now, Jack may be, usurper or whatever it is, but this is the reality of like when you get good at fighting games.
Round 2. Fight.
What happens is opponents just simply avoid you. Because what happens is you start beating them, and you'll start beating them. You'll start beating every time you beat an opponent. See, when you get used to winning, you forget what it's like for them when they lose.
Fight.
And you forget like how they sit there and they'll cry every time they lose, how they'll complain and like blame, some sort of like cheap situation. Like you forget how they like turn off their computer, they'll quit out the whole game. You forget how they throw their controller and stuff like that. And so what's happening is, here you are, you just beating them. And you over here going through the command list, and the whole time, the worse they're getting beat, the more they're crying and complaining. Well, what happens is over time, all that crying and complaining adds up, and you end up in. And then what happens is they just start avoiding you. They'll get to the point where you'll just beat them down, and they'll be such shells of themselves that they'll just avoid you. And one thing that really takes you back is you kind of wonder like, where does all the pride come from? Because it's you just look like at how trash they are. But see, the thing is, you also forget that when you were as good as they think that they are, or when you were in the same place and you thought the same as they did, you still had pride when you lost. And that's basically what happens to all of them. A lot of them have like really overinflated egos because of the nature of matchmaking in video games. They think that they're like, a lot of them are just, in real life, they're like really just like, a lot of them in real life are like really weak people. So it's just like you couple all that together, and this is what happens in fighting. If they do play against you, a lot of times it'll be like a counter pick. If like for example on PlayStation, that's what they'll do on PlayStation. They'll play against you, but it'll be a total counter pick. But then aside from that, what will happen is they'll just avoid playing against you. And see, none of these people should be in player match, none of them. But see, the thing about them is, all these people should be in quick match, but the reason why they're not in quick match is because the players that are in quick match should be in ranked. But the reason they're not in ranked is because they're just a bunch of, you know what I'm getting at. That's what they are. So they sit around freaking quick match all day. They sit in quick match. And then what happens is like random, wandering people be over here in ranked. And the reason they're doing this, or the reason why it's kind of like this, is because none of them really have any real rank. Most of them are just people that sat around thinking that they were noob stomping, calling themselves noob stomping. So they'll have like really high rank, so like they might have like some skill about them, but once you just kind of get through their surface level, you know, whatever it is that they have, they'll break down and they'll quit out. And this is the reason why they're all in quick match. But furthermore, this is also the reason player match is the way it is. But see, the thing about player matches is there's no point in really like establishing yourself in player match until you are confident that you're really proficient in the game. Because player match is very personal. Player match is very like long, winded. It's very much like long play. Player match, you develop like player IDs of people, like you get an idea of like people's play style and swings and stuff like that, like flows. They are less volatile in player match. In other words, when people start like winning in player match, typically they're gonna have more of a win percentage. And there's just like the sake of player match is having center stage. And one thing that people like to do in player match is like they like to play little dumb games. Like they like to use little weird cheats, or they'll like to sit there and like be in someone else's lobby and then beat them and see how long it takes for them to get kicked. All types of weird stuff like that. They'll have all of their friends in the lobby with you, so you'll be sitting there thinking you have like a full lobby and it's just like 5 random people. These people will all be in the same group with each other, and as soon as like you lose and they play against each other, they like do like little stupid stuff and wear the time down, like just a whole bunch of just wild wacko stuff. And this is the reason why you don't really want to be in player match until you're like a Tekken god. Because see, the thing is, you'll sit there and you'll like join their little weak ass lobbies, and you'll beat them and they'll quit or they'll kick you out of the lobby as soon as they lose. So you just don't want to, nobody wants to be like that. There's no point in being like that. So what you do is, instead of being like that, what you do is you get your skills up and then you start a lobby, and then that way, anybody that comes in your lobby is going to have to be able to beat you, and that way the lobby is worth your time. How did this man go to Saber? I thought this man was a Vindicator.
Round 1. Fight.
Yo, this is crazy.
Round 2. Fight.
What is up with these freaking inputs? Just like not even.
Round 4. Fight.
See that right there?
Final round. Fight.
Come on with this. What in the fuck?
Get ready for the next battle.
Oh my goodness.
Round two. Fight.
Man, get the fuck out of here.
Round three. Fight.
That's see that type of shit right there is freaking crazy.
Round four. Fight.
Get the fuck out of here. Look at the health.
Open wide.
Look at the health. That's what I'm talking about. Look at the health.
Final round. Fight.
Come on. Yo, how did that fool get there literally in 2 matches.
Welcome to the King of Iron Fist Tournament 7.
But yeah, they'll do stupid ass, counter picks, and then they'll rely on like weak ass shit like that. And the thing that'll be wild too is like they'll really do stuff like they'll be lag switching and stuff.
Challenger.
Every time you're about to close the match out, all of a sudden,
Get ready for the next battle.
yo, how did that man end up as Savior? How did that man go from Vanquisher to Savior? See what I'm saying? This what I'm saying, man. These dudes, man, they be some trash, man. Now, sometimes it'll be the moderators that will be sitting here doing this stuff too. Because, like, they'll sit there, they'll see you, like, blowing through the opponents, and they'll be sitting there trying to match you up.
Round 2. Fight.
Dang.
KO. Round 3. Fight.
Yo, that man went from I don't know how he got to Savior. How did he get to Savior? See what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying, man. And like on I keep calling it. I do not like making that mistake. But on PC, you don't know because people cheat like way different in fighting games. Like they'll sit there and like cheat a rank. They'll lag themselves. They'll lag you out. They'll counter pick you. They'll pick stages. The good thing about fighting games is the fighting game can only be so out of order before you know it's not. But with fighting games, you gotta pay attention down to the microsecond. And always be aware because you have to make adjustments Because sometimes it'll just be something as simple as the timing being off by just that little bit. Look at that damage. Oh my goodness.
Round 3. Fight.
Alright, let me stop playing with this dude. And that's why you can't play them for free. Because see, if you play them for free, what will happen is you'll start sleeping on them. See? And you got this stuff like that. Wow. Like this fool really went up 2 whole ranks. This is one thing you gotta be careful of too, because see they'll like you'll be sitting here playing, and these people will be working against you like as a collective. See, a lot of times they can get to like certain ranks because they all sit there and they play with each other and they boost each other. All right. Yo, I swear, armor moves, like, these super moves are really annoying. They're just really annoying, and it's just such a weak-ass mechanic for these fools because they still lose. Like, look at this.
Round 2. Fight.
It's like, you think, like, with all these, like, assists and, like, all this stuff, like, these people would, like, be more, like, inclined to play. And see, that's the bad investment that they really make, because they think that like when they cater to these people it pays off, and it doesn't. They just are, it just wow. And this dude is determined. See what I'm saying? Like, he's gonna keep trying to push out this you know, Beast of the East game. He's gonna keep cranking it out. So we just gonna keep getting that 400 off them. We just gonna get that up off them. They gotta pay. It gets to the point where they just gotta pay to play, man. But yeah, they gotta pay to play. We playing against them, folks. That man really went all the way up to Vanquisher, though. That's the thing. That man really became a whole Vanquisher. I mean, he went from Vanquisher to Savior. After I deranked him from Vanquisher, I deranked him from Vanquisher to something else. I deranked him. I'm sitting over here waiting for the match to reset. I'm like, okay, well, I know at least I'll get that guy again. I sit here, I play Leo. This fool is already a whole savior. So once you start streaming and stuff like that, like they'll be sitting there, they'll find secret ways to, you know, see what's going on with the stream, see the characters you play, and if you become repetitive, and especially if you play them for free, then they'll start memorizing your playstyle and they'll start emulating it, and that's a big problem because once they start copying your playstyle, then they'll just use it on all their friends and stuff until they all figure out different ways of dealing with simple setups that they memorized. Typically, it'll be things that work really well on them. Like a lot of your best setups, they'll memorize them, and then what'll happen is because they'll sit there and do them all day, they'll develop like these wild defensive strategies against them that'll be really strong, and it'll make situations where you'll have very difficult opponents to play against because it's not that they're particularly good, it's just they just know what you're likely to do. It's not that they're particularly good, they're just able to predict, you know, whatever it is you're doing. And the thing is, you know, you can kind of get ahead of yourself thinking that what you're doing is hard to memorize because you may be considering it from the perspective of executing it, whereas they're just defending against it. So it's for this reason that you want to play more characters. I mean, it's unfortunate that, you know, you gotta play this way, but when the player base is totally undeveloped, you gotta do what you have to do to just focus on getting up in the ranks. Otherwise, a lot of it is just nonsense. You just kind of more or less wasting your time. Like, I went through a couple of days, like, playing on PC, like, thinking to myself that I was just gonna just play openly and just deal with it. Alright. What the thing is, the weak ass player base, they'll sit there and play you like 1,000 games for like 50 XP, and then they'll sit there and try to do the same like little weak ass tactics to beat you out of like close ranking games, like games that are worth a lot more. They'll sit there and counterpick those. And see, what will happen is, you know, if you just get so used to beating them, it's easy to get caught off guard with those games. Those will be those games when you lose the first 2 rounds, and then you got to sit there and 3-streak them all the way through and focus 100% to get through. Then all of a sudden, you get through the game, you're like, man, that game was really hard. You find out you end up with like 1,900 XP, and that's the reason why. Furthermore, you knew it was a close game going into it. It just slipped your mind because, you know, you weren't really that focused on it, but they were really focused on it. So it's like, don't even waste your time playing against them on that weak ass shit. you can sit there and do that weak ass shit with them. You just go ahead and just play a new character. That way, they're doing weak ass shit. You're like really trying hard. Strangely enough, these fools will come out in droves when they realize that you're playing a very weak character. All those people that you don't know are out here dodging and ducking you all day, or they'll be sitting there first in line to play you when you play a character you can't really do anything. You can't do anything against. And long and behold, when you lose against them, it will be very frustrating. Because their game will be very weak and pitiful. This is why you cannot play them for free. You know, it's like that weak, pitiful nature to them. As they get better, it doesn't get better. They don't get better just because they get better. When they get better, what happens is they just become assholes to everyone that's not as good as them. When they get better, they just treat people that aren't as good as them like dirt. And they swear up and down that they're really good, and all they do is they do the same ducking and dodging. They just do it against people that are at the same level as them. In this case, a lot of them used to be the people that are ducking and dodging me right now. They're gonna forever duck and dodge me. Now, one thing that they will do though is they will take little stints where they'll sit there and they'll no life. You know, they'll sit there, they'll no life for like 3 straight weeks, play super hard. It'll be the equivalent of a fight camp for these people because their game will can only really go so far with that. But you know, this is what you're up against. So you can't play that for free. Cannot play them for free. And if you do play them for free, you want to play them to the point where you basically will obliterate them.
Welcome to the King of Iron Fist Tournament 7.
See, what's something we get all these games. Man, let me tell you something, man.
Get ready for the next battle.
These are the people that are supposed to be in range. Or better yet, no, these people are supposed to be in quick match. Like, basically, you're supposed to be in a quick match until you get to like 500 wins, and at that point, then you're supposed to go to rank. These people will be in player match 8,000 wins. I don't like this guy's mask. Now, I'll be honest, I am playing this dude for free. So I mean, if he tried to sit here and play a more serious game, it would just slow his timing down to where, with like a character like King, I would pretty much pick him apart. So he has to get busy, I guess.
Round two. Fight. Round three. Fight.
What is this? Might be done off that. Oh man. So yeah, you know, you just make sure you do them like that. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one, man. But yeah, you might as well just go ahead and get that up off them. Cause you know, they don't know what they doing with the XP anyway, so you might as well just go ahead and get that up off them.